Hello friends, welcome to you all in another interesting episode of Brit Facts. Today we will see about an artificial heart. Fact number 29. An artificial heart is a device that replaces the heart. Artificial hearts are typically used to bridge the time to heart transplantation or to permanently replace the heart in the case that a heart transplant from a deceased human or experimentally from a deceased genetically engineered pig is impossible, although other similar innovations preceded it. From the late 1940s, the first artificial heart to be successfully implanted in a human was the Jarnik 7 in 1982, designed by a team including William Johann Kolff and William Devil Rees and Robert Jarvik. An artificial heart is distinct from a ventricular assist device named VAD for either one or both of the ventricles, the heart's lower chambers, which can be a permanent solution also, or the intra-aortic balloon pump. Both devices are designed to supply and support a failing heart. It is also distinct from cardiopulmonary bypass machine, which is an external device used to provide the function of both the heart and lungs, used only for a few hours at a time, most commonly during cardiac surgery. It is also distinct from a ventilator used to support failing lungs or the extracorporeal membrane oxygenation named ECMO, which is also used to support those with both inadequate heart and lung functions for up to days or weeks, unlike the bypass machine. Fact number 28. And what is the origin of the obvious benefit of a functional artificial heart would be to lower the need for heart transplants because the demand of organs always greatly exceeds supply. Although the heart is conceptually a pump, it embodies subtitles that defy straightforward emulation with synthetic materials and power supplies. Consequences of these issues include severe foreign body rejection and external batteries that limit mobility. These complications limited the lifespan of early human recipients from hours to days. Fact number 27. Early development of artificial heart. The first artificial heart was made by the Soviet scientist Vladimir Demikko in 1937. It was implanted in a dog. On 2nd July 1952, the 41-year-old Henry Opitek, suffering from shortness of breath, made medical history at Harvard University Hospital at Wayne State University in Michigan. The Dodrill GMR heart machine, considered to be the first operational mechanical heart, was successfully used while performing heart surgery. Ongoing research was done on cows at Hershey's Medical Center, animal research facility in Hershey's, Pennsylvania during the 1970s. Forrest DeWay Dodrill, working closely with Matthew Dudley, used the machine in 1952 to bypass Henry Opitek's left ventricle for 50 minutes while he opened the patient's left atrium and worked to repair the mitral wall. In Dodrill's post-operative report, he noted, to our knowledge, this is the first instance of survival of a patient when mechanical heart mechanism was used to take over the complete body function of maintaining the blood supply of a body while the heart was open and operated on. A heart-lung machine was first used in 1953 during a successful open heart surgery. John Haysham Gibbon, the inventor of the machine, performed the operation and developed the heart-lung substitute himself. Following this advanced scientific interest for the development of a solution for heart disease developed in numerous research groups. Fact number 26. Early design of total artificial hearts in 1949, a precursor to the modern artificial heart pumps, was built by Dr. William Sewell and William Glenn of the Yale School of Medicine using an erector set, assorted odds and ends, and dime store toys. The external pump successfully bypassed the heart of a dog for more than an hour. Paul Winchell invented an artificial heart with assistance of Henry Heimlich, the inventor of the Heimlich maneuver, and held the first patient for such a device. The University of Utah developed a similar apparatus around the same time, but when they tried to patent it, Winchell heart was cited as a prior art. The university requested that Winchell donate the heart to the University of Utah, which he did. There is some debate as to how much of Winchell's designed Robert Jarvik used in creating Jarvik's artificial heart. Heimlich states, "I saw the heart, I was the patient, and I was the letters. The basic principle used in Winchell's heart and Jarvik's heart is exactly the same." Jarvik denies that any of Winchell's design elements were incorporated in the device he fabricated for human, which was successfully implanted into Barney Clark in 1982. On 12 December 1957, William Johann Kolff, the world's most prolific inventor of artificial organs, implanted an artificial heart onto a dog at Cleveland Clinic. The dog lived for 90 minutes. In 1958, Domingo Liotta initiated the studies of the replacement of Lyon, France, and in 1959 and 1960 at the National University of Cordoba, Argentina country. He presented his work at the meeting of the American Society of Artificial Internal Organs held in Atlantic City in March 1961. At the meeting, Liotta described the implantation of three types of orthopedic inside the pericardial sac, TAHs, in dogs, each of which use a different source of external energy, an implantable electric motor and implantable rotating pump with the external electric motor and a pneumonic pump. In 1964, the National Institute of Health started an artificial heart program with the goal of putting an artificial heart into a human by the end of the decade. The purpose of the program was to develop an implantable artificial heart, including the power source to replace a failing heart. In February 1966, Adrian Kantrowitz rose to the international prominence when he performed the world's first permanent implantation of a patient's mechanical heart left ventricles assist device at Maimo Needs Medical Center. In 1967, Kolf left Cleveland Clinic to start the division of artificial organ at the University of Utah and pursue his work on the artificial. In 1973, a calf named Tony survived for 30 days on an early calf heart. In 1975, a bull named Burke survived 90 days on an artificial heart. In 1976, a calf named Abebe lived for 184 days on the Jarvik's 5 artificial heart. In 1981, a calf named Alfred Lord Tennyson lived for 268 days on the Jarvik 5. Over the years, more than 200 physicians, engineers, students, and faculty developed, tested, and improved calf artificial heart to help manage his many endeavors. Calf assigned project managers. Each project was named after its manager. Graduate students. Robert Jarvik was the project manager for the artificial heart, which was subsequently renamed the Jarvik 7. In 1981, William D. Rees submitted a request to the FDA for permission to implant the Jarvik 7 into a human being on 2nd December 1982. William D. Rees implanted a Jarvik 7 artificial heart into Barnett Clark, a dentist from Seattle, who was suffering from a severe cognitive heart failure. Clark lived for 112 days, tethered to an external pneumonic compressor, a device weighing some 400 pounds, means 180 kilograms. But during that time, he suffered prolonged period of confusion and a number of instances of bleeding and asked severe times to be allowed to die. Fact number 25. First clinical implantation of a total artificial heart. On April 4, 1969, Domingo Liotta and Denton Eculi replaced the dying man's heart with a mechanical heart inside the chest at the Texas Heart Institute in Houston. As a bridge for a transplant, the man woke up and began to recover. After 64 hours, pneumonic powered artificial heart was removed and replaced by a donor heart. However, 32 hours after transplantation, the man died of what was later proved to be an acute pulmonary infection extended to both lungs, caused by fungi, most likely to caused by an immunosuppressive drugs complications. The original prototype of a Liotta-Cooley artificial heart used in this historic operations is prominently displayed in the Smithsonian Institute National Museum of American History. Treasures of American History exhibited in Washington, D.C. Fact number 24. First clinical application of a permanent pneumonic total artificial heart. The first clinical use of an artificial heart designed for a permanent implantation rather than bridge to transplant occurred in 1982 at the University of Utah. Artificial kidney pioneer William Johann Kolf started the Utah Artificial Organs program in 1967. There, physician engineer Clifford Point Gate invented two components of an integrated pneumonic artificial heart system, a ventricle with hemispherical diaphragm that did not crush the red blood cells, a problem with previous artificial hearts, and an external heart driver that inherently regulates blood flow without needing complex control system independently. Paul Winchell designed and patented a similar shaped ventricle and donated the patient to the Utah program throughout the 1970s and early 1980s. Veterinarian Donald Osland led a series of calf experiments that refined the artificial hearts and its surgical care. During that time, as a student at the University of Utah, Robert Jarvik combined several modifications. An ovoid shape to fit inside the human chest, a more blood compatible polyurethane developed by biomedical engineer Donald Lehman, and fabrication method by QuantGate that made the inside of the ventricle smooth and seamless to reduce dangerous stroke caused blood clots. On December 2nd, 1982, William DeVries implanted the artificial heart into a retired dentist Barney Bailey Clark, born on 21st January 1921, who survived 112 days, with the device dying on 23rd March 1983. Bill Skull Rio Dare became the second recipient and lived for a record 620 days. Contrary to popular belief and erroneous articles in several periodicals, the Jarvik heart was banned for permanent use. Today, the modern version of a Jarvik 7 is known as the Syncardia temporary total artificial heart. It has been implanted in more than 1,350 people as a bridge to transplantation. In the mid of 1980s, artificial heart were powered by a dishwasher-sized pneumonic power sources whose lines went back to alpha level milking machines. Moreover, two sizable catheters had to cross the body wall to carry the pneumonic pulses to the implanted heart, greatly increases the risk of infection. To speed development of a new generation of technologies, the National Heart, Lung and Blood Institute opened a competition for a implantable, electrically powered scientific heart. 3 groups received funding: Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, Ohio, and the College of Medicine of Pennsylvania State University, Penn State Heart Medical Center in Harches, Pennsylvania, and Abbey-Mead, including Danvers, Massachusetts. Despite considerable progress, the Cleveland program was discontinued after the first few years. Fact number 23. Swapped artificial heart. On 10 July 2017, Nicholas Kohoros and colleagues presented a new concept of the swapped total artificial heart in a Journal of Artificial Organs. The heart was developed in the Functional Materials Laboratory at ETH Zurich. Kohoros was listed as a doctoral student in a group led by Professor Wendelin Stark at ETH Zurich. The soft artificial heart (SAH) was created from silicon with the help of a 3D printing technology. The SAH is a silicon monoblock. It weighs 390 kilograms, has a volume of 679 centimeters cube, and is operated through pressurized air. Our goal is to develop an artificial heart that is roughly the same size as the patient's own one and which imitates the human heart as closely as possible. It from functional says Chorus in an interview. The shaft fundamentally moves and works like a real heart, but currently only beats for 3000 beats, which corresponds to duration in 30 to 50 minutes for an average individual's heart's beat in a hybrid mock circulation machine following which the silicone membrane 2.3 millimeter thick between the left ventricle and the air expansion chamber ruptured. The working life of more recent course prototypes using various polymers instead of silicone was still limited according to reports in early 2018, with that model providing a useful life of 1 million heartbeats, roughly 10 days in a human body. At the time, Cohrs and his team were experimenting a CAD software and 3D printing, striving to develop a model that would last up to 50 years. We cannot really predict when we could have a final working heart which fulfills the requirement and is ready for implantation. This usually takes years, said Cohrs. Fact number 22. Peter Houghton, who has died aged 69 years, had an artificial heart for the last 7.5 years of his life, a world record. The previous longest living survivor lasted for 4 years. Fact number 21. First artificial heart transplant in 1982. The first permanent artificial heart was transplanted into a 61-year-old patient named Barney Clark by surgeons at the University of Utah. Dr. William Kolff, who was mentioned earlier, led the team that worked on his artificial heart after leaving the Cleveland Clinic in 1967. Fact number 20. Risk of an artificial heart is, in addition, the artificial heart carries its own set of risks, including blood clots, bleedings, infections, and device malfunctions. Gurudevan recommends additional research to examine the use of the total artificial heart as a permanent solution for patients rather than simply a bridge to transplant. Fact number 90. Artificial heart cannot replace a place of original heart. You could not exist indefinitely using present technology. You would likely die at some point with an artificial heart. The odds are you would eventually suffer some fatal complications. Fact number 18. Actor Paul Winchell is the most famous for voicing Tigger in Winnie the Pooh and for his career as a successful ventriloquist. But the most amazing and forgotten part of his career was his work as an inventor. Fact number 17. Live the longest with an artificial heart is Peter Houghton, the world's longest surviving recipient of an artificial heart. Died at November 25 at a hospital in his home city of Birmingham, England. He was 68 years old. The cause of death was a multiple organ failure, but the physicians had to disconnect the battery on the artificial heart before he could be declared dead. Fact number 16. Total artificial heart can be used while a patient waits for a heart donor or as a long-term solution. On average, a total artificial heart lasts about few years. Fact number 15. Estimated of a cost of the artificial heart include charges for the surgical procedure, device and console, and continuing medical surveillances. These estimates range from a low of $1 lakh to a high of $3 lakh per patient in the initial year. Fact number 14. Barney Clark lived with the artificial heart and died on March 23, 1983. Barney Clark dies 112 days after becoming the world's first recipient of a permanent artificial heart. Fact number 13. Artificial heart saves more than 600 lives. Patients, families and doctors gather today to celebrate a major of medical milestone, the 25th century of the pioneering International Artificial Heart Program at the International Medical Center. Fact number 12. A common problem with artificial heart is their tendency to allow blood to clot due to their rigid composition. Blood clots can lead to stroke. Fact number 11. A simple artificial heart could permanently replace a failing human one. The small streamlined design could have benefits over the devices. Nearly 4,000 people in the United States are waiting for heart transplants, and on average, it takes about 6 months to get one, during which time some patient will die. Fact number 10. With the help of and advice of Hamish Leach Winchell, designed an artificial heart and built a prototype. He filed for a patent in 1956, which he received in 1963. Fact number 9. The first artificial heart was made by the Soviet scientist Vladimir Demenko in 1937. It was implanted in a dog on 2nd July 1952. 41-year-old Henry Opitek, suffering from shortness of breath, made medical history at Harvard University Hospital at Wayne State of University in Michigan. Fact number 8. Robert Jarvik, MD, is widely known as the inventor of the first successful permanent artificial heart, the Jarvik 7. In 1982, the first implantation of a Jarvik 7 in patient Barney Clark caught the attention of media around the world. Fact number 7. Can humans live without an artificial heart? Living for years without a heart is now possible. A device called a total artificial heart helps some of the sickest heart failure patient regain function and outside of the hospital while awaiting a transplant. Fact number 6. Asian being tested as a bridge to heart transplant. Currently, the Asian artificial heart is tested as a bridge to transplant for a patient with end-stage biventricular heart failure, allowing more time for a patient to receive a permanent heart organs transplant. Fact number 5. Jacob Skorda and Carmelio Milano successfully implanted a new generation artificial heart in 39-year-old man with heart failure, becoming the first center in North America to perform the procedure. Fact number 4. Just one artificial heart is currently approved for human use in the United States, but its manufacturer described it as a temporary device. Artificial hearts have most been viewed as short-term fix to help ailing patients while they wait for a human heart transplant. Fact number 3. The teeny titanium pump weighs only 11 grams and can handle a blood flow of 1.5 liters a minute. An artificial heart for adults weighs 900 grams. Amodio said the baby had become family and his team wanted to do everything to help him. Fact number 2. A 16-month boy has received the world's smallest artificial heart. Italian doctors implanted the device weighing in at 11 grams into the infant to give him more time to wait for a heart donor. Or comparison, an adult heart weight 900 grams. Fact number 1. Look at this picture. Look at this image. Look at this photograph. This is the world's smallest artificial heart. It saved the life of a 16 months old baby for 13 days until the doctor heart become available. So friends, do subscribe the Brit Fact channel and hit the bell icon for more upcoming interesting videos.